Maybe it's not the destination that matters. Maybe it's the journey.
Star Trek Voyager featured the titular Starfleet ship lost in the unexplored Delta Quadrant, but that doesn't mean they didn't run into a few pieces of home. Join ScreenRant as we look at the times Voyager found things from the Alpha Quadrant in the Delta Quadrant. Voyager was lost on the other side of the galaxy, but they still encountered a few familiar things. One of those things was a pair of Ferengi who had themselves become lost in the Delta Quadrant. Continuing a plot point from an old TNG episode, the Voyager encountered two Ferengi who had styled themselves as gods to a native population. Fortunately, some Neelix cosplay helped sort everything out. Voyager also encountered another Alpha Quadrant race, only these were new to the crew. The Voth seemed like your average Star Trek aliens, but they are actually the evolved form of a species of dinosaur. Voyager also found a little piece of home when they discovered Friendship 1, the first warp-based probe. It was sent out in the early days of Starfleet as a sort of friendly handshake. Of course, that backfired pretty handily. Similar to Friendship 1 is the Dreadnought. This sentient Cardassian missile was reprogrammed by the Maquis. Unfortunately, it ended up in the Delta Quadrant, targeting the wrong planet. Oops. Voyager also found an entire classic D7 Klingon Cruiser, complete with Klingon crew. Of course, that's not the strangest thing that Voyager found from back home. They once came across famous aviator Amelia Earhart. Voyager also discovered that they weren't the only Federation starship lost in the Delta Quadrant. They eventually came across the USS Equinox, which had a far tougher time. And finally, the biggest Alpha Quadrant native they discovered was 7 of 9. This ex-Borg drone was actually Annika Hansen, a native of Earth whose parents studied the Borg. It didn't work out like they hoped. Thanks for watching ScreenRant, the final frontier for all your Trek news.